I've been with my husband for almost 20 years, but about 3 years ago, I was strongly considering divorce, and I want to talk to you about why. So I'm going to tell you the story of the day where I thought to myself, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. My husband and I had 4 kids. We both worked full time. We had been together for 16 years at this point. We've been together since high school. And on paper, I have an amazing husband. He is incredibly supportive. He's kind. He's loyal. He's a great dad. He's very hands-on. He's an active participant. He's always present. Like, on paper, what else could I ask for? But in reality, my experience is very similar to the experience of other women. I had this amazing husband who on paper was great, but I was incredibly frustrated and burnt out from our marriage and from motherhood. Because what happens to so many of us is that we marry these amazing men and we have amazing relationships, and then we have kids. And when we have kids, women tend to carry a disproportionate amount of the work in the home, the work of raising kids, and the mental load. And that is exactly what happened to us. About 3 months after my 4th baby was born.
She's not joking. Like, myself and my wife, we have 4 kids, right? And let me tell you, like, kids definitely, like, they make things a little bit more tricky to work, if you know what I mean.
I remember looking at my husband and saying, I need more. I need you to do more. I am exhausted. I am in charge of everyone and everything in this house. Every night, when we cook dinner, you ask me what to make. Every day, when you drop off the kids at daycare, you ask me what they need in their backpacks. I am the project manager of this home and I need you to do more. And he looked at me and he said, okay, just tell me what to do. Right? Every woman has heard this. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I said, okay, something that would make my life easier is if in the mornings when I came downstairs with the 4 kids, because I do mornings by myself, the dishwasher was emptied, the dishes were put away, and the trash was taken out. That would make my life so much easier, because when I've got the 4 kids running around and the baby crying, I can't be looking for their favorite water bottle in the dishwasher. I just need to know it's clean. And he said, yeah, of course. What? Yeah, I'll do that.
You know what I appreciate about this lady here? Is that actually she's communicating with her husband, right? Because like in every marriage, like it's always going to have challenges. It's why even in the wedding vows, they say for better or worse, right? So a lot of times people, their go-to thing is just divorce, divorce, divorce. If you go on Reddit, any lady that ever complains about her husband, the advice that she always gets is just leave his ass, and stuff like that. But I appreciate this lady actually taking the time to try and work things out with her husband, and also her husband, kudos to him as well for actually like being willing to contribute and to listen to his wife, right? Because they have 4 kids, guys. And what do you think is going to be better for those 4 kids? To be raised in a single parent household with step moms and stepdads who could potentially be in and out of their lives, or to be raised in a household with their mom and their dad? So for me, I think that like that's obviously, for me, it's a no-brainer, right? 2-parent household always beats single parent household. So as long as there's no like any abuse or like violence in the household or any addiction problems or gambling issues, whatever, I think many issues can always be ironed out. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below. What do you think? Are you pro dual parent like mom and dad being in the children's lives, or are you like are you one to just jump for divorce? Yeah, let me know down in the comments below. We'll keep
no problem. And so of course he does it, but then I have to remind him, and then he forgets, and then I have to remind him again. And there was this one morning where I woke up and I went to put something in the trash and it was overflowing. And I went to get my son's water bottle and it was in the dishwasher with all the other clean dishes. And I felt so disrespected and unseen and unvalued at that point in time. And I remember texting my husband being like, what happened? Like, why didn't you do this? And he said, sorry, I was running late for work. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he doesn't see me. Because what he's done has now made me late for work. And he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the impact on me. And he doesn't see how every single thing in our home happens because I ask him to do it, or because I do it myself, or because I planned and organized it. The diaper bag is full because I filled it, right? I put the wipes in there. And I felt so frustrated. And I remember thinking, what's the point? What's the point of doing this with someone else? I might as well just do it alone. And it's not because my husband didn't love me or he did anything to me.
That's a dangerous, slippery slope to go down, right? Because yeah, it's easy to think that like you're doing everything But the fact that like they have a father in the house, and she acknowledged it herself, right? She said,
And on paper, I have an amazing husband. He is incredibly supportive, he's kind, he's loyal, he's a great dad, he's very hands-on, he's an active participant, he's always present. Like on paper, what else could I ask for?
he's a great dad, he's present, he's always there for his kids, very involved. So how I don't get it, but anyways, I think she figured it out eventually. But yeah, like maybe like he's not helping out as much as he could in the house, right? But I think the job of a man is way more than household chores, right? Like in my opinion, like growing up in like Nigeria, like my dad, he didn't really do a lot of the household chores, even though my mom worked as well. But a lot of times, like my dad was like the one to lay down the smackdown, right? To make sure that we don't end up becoming like bums, right? Slap us like into like to get up, and get you like to get that drive, if you know what I mean. So like the work of a dad is like, in my opinion, of course, I could be wrong, right? But I'm not saying that you shouldn't help your wife in the house. Always, like always, especially if she's working just like you, then you should always be pulling your own weight. But I'm happy that she was able to see that like he like he's not just to be giving up on, especially with the 4 kids. That's a lot of kids.
And it's not because I didn't love him, but because I felt so taken advantage of in our relationship. And this dynamic, it doesn't happen by accident, right? It's not like my husband did it to me, but we've been raised in this society that tells men and women who they should be in marriages and what it looks like to be a good mom versus a good dad. And we know the bar for moms is way up here and the bar for dads is way down here. And we fell into these norms. We fell into these.
No. I'm going to have to stop on that one. The bar for moms is not higher than the bar for dads, right? Let me ask a question here. Like how many in a marriage, right? Say, for example, the husband loses his job, right? How many of you, and like any of my female viewers here, how many of you guys are actually gonna stick with your man through thick and thin? And how long are you gonna stick with him while he's trying to get back on his feet? Now, if I were to switch that same question around and say, if your wife were to lose her job, I ask my male audience here, how many of you guys are gonna be divorcing your wife, and how long are you gonna give her to get back on her feet? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. I have like a suspicion, but I might be wrong, but I have a suspicion that the man will not care as much, especially if their income is enough to hold the household in the meantime, right? So as a guy, I think that like men, they always have like this crushing pressure where they have this responsibility for their family. At least that was the case with my dad. That's the case with me. I feel responsible for my family, right? So that is an immense pressure that goes without like a lot. It goes like pretty much like it's underestimated how much pressure that is, right? So I just have to stop her there. Like the bar for, there's a place for everyone, and everybody is just as important in the family. The wife is not more important than the guy, and vice versa. Everybody plays their own role, and for it to work, everybody needs to play their own role. A woman cannot try and now become like a man and meet him in his masculine, and a man cannot try and be like the woman and meet her in a feminine, right? You need the yin and the yang. Yeah. Wait till you see my
roles in our family, despite the fact that we never wanted to. And I'm lucky, and I say lucky because I have a partner who I know loves me and wants me to be happy and was willing and able to change. And so we did the work to figure out what equity looked like in our relationship. And I can tell you now, 3 years later, that we are happier than ever. Our kids are thriving. Our home runs like a well-oiled machine. And that took a lot of work. I want to say it took like 18 months to get there. And it was well worth it. But it is not uncommon. And so if your wife is coming to you and she's saying, I'm burnt out by the mental load and I need you to do more, she's not just saying that because she wants you to do more chores. She's saying that because truly it can hurt your relationship. It can ruin your marriage if you do not participate in an equitable way in your home. And so what does that look like? What does it look like to change these dynamics? Well, we need to really assess in our homes what the work looks like. Because in most homes, the data supports this, women do a disproportionate amount of the work. They just do. They do more of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and the childcare while also working full time. And men have more time for things like their hobbies, like golf, for example, or just working out, running a marathon, right? And so we need to have hard conversations about what our time looks like. what our labor in the home looks like, what is invisible labor. We have to talk about these things. And when we don't, the alternative is that you no longer have a marriage, or you don't have a happy one at least. And so I share this story because I don't think I'm alone in this experience. And I want people to know that there's hope, and that if you have a willing and able partner, you can change this. You can absolutely change this dynamic.
Yeah, I agree with her to a large extent. A lot of what she's saying is really good points, guys. I really want to hear from you guys what you think about this video here. I want to hear your opinions, or like my married audience here. How have you guys made your marriages last as long as it has, right? As we know, like divorces are going rampant. And I, for one, I appreciate this lady here. Gentlemen, if your wife comes to you complaining that she's burnt out, give her a listening ear. Don't just dismiss her. Hear her out. Try and be understanding of it. Don't try and get into a competition of who's doing what and who's doing more, right? It's not a competition. Just remember that like it's a partnership, it's a teamwork. And like they always say, teamwork makes the dream work. Right, fellows? And in my opinion, once you start having kids, then it stops being about you guys, and actually it should be about your kids, right? But it's just how I see it. So ladies, I know like most of the divorces are always initiated by women, right? As everybody probably knows this already. So I think you guys should listen to this lady here. Talk to your husband, give your relationships, give your marriages a chance, because as you know, children raised in a double parent household, they tend to have the advantage over their counterparts that were raised in single parent households. Right, fellows? Y'all let me know what you think about this one down in the comments below. Smash that like, smash that subscribe. And until next time, peace!